and I took as much notes as I can down through the whole thing, and I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better learning as much as I do. I can actually go on SAM.gov and look at things and understand things now.
Boy, is that fantastic news.
Yeah.
In our first conversation, I said, once you learn something, you can never unlearn it. It's there,
Right.
and there's no way to describe to somebody what's in that 20 whatever hours of training that it is. You can't teach this stuff in 3 hours.
No, you can't. And I feel like you could even go on more. I I kind of do you know David Sheldon?
I
Um,
do.
so he's the one who told me about you and stuff like that. And we were both at work today, and we said the same thing. How would you describe the class? I said it's a federal contracting Bible. That is exactly how I would describe the course.
Wow, that's a hell of a compliment. In my mind, first of all, where are you going to find somebody that did what we did? I don't know how you would ever find somebody like that. Second of all, that they'd be able to put together a course that even a young man such as yourself could sit down and, first of all, get something out of it. It's you can absorb it at a pace that it's absorbable.
Oh yeah.
And then real application. Like this is what we taught you. This is how you use it, and this is how to make a lot of money doing that. And here's the examples, right?
Right.
And then, like day two, forced action, when things aren't going your way because people aren't working at the speed you want to work at, here's how you force that to happen.
Right.
I don't know any other place that could do something like that for people in our business, construction, because we have unique problems that nobody else has.
Well, not only just unique problems with answers, but you're essentially building a federal contractor from the ground up, even within personality and thought process. That goes a lot into it, especially because 99% of the business is over the phone. You have to be able to listen and understand, and can kind of tell off of tone, off of voice, off of the small amounts of information sometimes that I see the government gives you, where to go from there. And yeah, I thought it was extremely helpful, and I feel prepared. I'm very excited to continue this journey.
In the workshop, we talk about communication being the response that you get,
Right.
meaning that everything you just said about detection in a phone call is so super important because that's going to change the response that you get, right?
Right. I mean, I was you essentially teach how to control the conversation, in a way which benefits everybody.
That's
And
right.
that is
One of
it's
the things you
unteachable.
figure out in the workshop is, most contractors look at subcontractors as throwaway people. Screw that guy and let's move on to the next one. But if you look at the way we teach the workshop, it's, hey man, we're working in this thing together.
Oh, not only that, these are the guys that are gonna make you your money, you
Yeah,
know? Like, and I coming from the field myself, you build relationships with contractors and stuff like that, networking, they become very valuable getting work.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
now you've got this huge pool all across the United States of relationships that you can build to put teams together to
Yeah.
accomplish work that needs to be done. Somebody's going to get the contract.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, I don't think I've ever thought about this at a national level about networking, because I've worked state to state with contractors here and there, but building a team nationally is I never thought about it until now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, there's some remote parts of this country, and you want to figure out who the key players are in those areas. Like, um, North Dakota and
Right.
Idaho, up in, South Dakota, where they've got populations of, 500,000 people or 1 or 2 million people. There's some
Right.
real key players that can get some unique stuff done, and they're used to driving to remote places. Oh, that's no problem. I'll go take a look at that job. It's only about a 3-hour drive from here. And you're going, yeah, I wouldn't drive 30 minutes to go pick up a pizza.
Right.
3 hours to go look at a job.
Well, yeah, some of them they do that for a living. I just came back
That's
from a job in Idaho. I had to drive 8 hours over there to go do it.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of work there, actually.
there is.
Boise is, I think, the fastest growing city in the U.S. right now.
Could
Um,
be.
and they're
Yeah.
putting up buildings on buildings, even on the government side.
Yep.
But yeah, I found myself taking breaks here and there, looking at SAM.gov, understanding things. Yeah, I really want to move forward. Um, I do have a couple questions for you that I wrote down.
Hit me with the questions. I
All
love
right.
questions.
Will it be hard for me to win contracts without having any awards? I know the PPIRS was mentioned, um, but say just as a brand new contractor with no awards, how hard would it be to win
Are you
awards?
in front of a computer? Like, do you want me to answer this live, or do you want me to just tell you what to do in an email and then go look it up? Or you want me to tell you what it is?
Yeah, just tell me what it is. These are just
Okay.
questions, regular
It's
questions.
Federal Acquisition Regulation 13, I'm sorry, 15.305. If you go look on my YouTube channel, one of the last two videos, I was going through some of my older videos and I found this perfect little 1 minute video where I talk about this Federal Acquisition Regulation 15.305. And I just went boop and I just uploaded it right to YouTube. I think it's gotten 2 views, which is crazy because that federal acquisition regulation is one of the most important federal acquisition regulations when it comes to being a new federal contractor. And I explained the whole thing exactly right there. So I'll just tell you when we're done with this thing. But basically, it levels the playing field between a new guy and somebody like me, been around for 30 years. Okay. And basically, it says that the government should take into account key personnel, past performance, relevant experience, and relevant subcontractors who will be performing major aspects of the instant acquisition or something like that. Basically, what it's saying is that if you've never done a roll-up door job and the job is to install roll-up doors, and you intend to use ABC roll-up doors,
You know what? You said this in the class.
I did.
You said this in the class.
In fact, I
Okay.
put a whole slide up there that said Federal Acquisition Regulation 13.004 and Federal Acquisition Regulation 15.305. And I
Yep.
said, these are the two things that you want to kind of, it's not that you have to memorize them. It's just that you need to understand what they mean conceptually, and you should be able to refer back to them.
And you can even use the subcontractor as a reference.
It's not that you can use the subcontractor as a reference. You're not the first person that's ever said that to me. I think people are interpreting that from what I say in the workshop, which is okay, except it's a wrong interpretation.
Okay.
But I can understand why. And for heaven's sake, it's been years since I've watched the workshop. Maybe I actually said that and I just misspoke. I don't know which, but you're not the first person to suggest that.
Well, I think it was something along the lines of because you're using them and they have the experience. You can
Yes, and
list
what we're doing
their.
is we're saying to the government that we intend to use ABC roll-up doors. Okay. And so it's not that we can use their references. We can't. They're not our references. We weren't responsible for that. Okay. It's just saying that, look, we're new. We have this kind of experience. We manage construction. This is who we intend to use if you decide to award this contract to us. Okay. And here's their references. Okay.
Okay.
So look, you're going to be coming in brand new. You're going to be rated what's called a 0. That range is -3 to +3. Being new, having no experience with a federal contract, you're just going to be rated a 0. Okay. New guys get new federal contracts all the time.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
There's this huge myth out there, and I don't know where it comes from, but you wouldn't believe how many phone calls I get in a year saying, or comments on Facebook or comments on my YouTube videos. Yeah, the party's not telling you is that when you get signed up, you can't win a contract for 2 years.
No,
Like,
I don't.
what the? That is absolutely not true. Once you're registered with SAM.gov, you could be potentially awarded a federal contract within an hour. There's no time limitation. Okay,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, yeah.
there just isn't.
I don't think. I hope not to hear that myth. If I ever do, I'll shut it
I
down.
tell
But
you, I tell you
I don't
what.
know why.
Years ago, I used to. I've never. I don't think I've ever talked about this publicly. But years ago, I used to be in a very exclusive club that designed, built, and flew remote control turbine powered jet airplanes.
Mhm.
Think about that. A real turbine that runs on Jet A fuel, landing gear, wheels, brakes, flaps, everything that you can imagine on a real jet, these things pretty much had. Go 200, 250 miles an hour, pretty fast. One of my guys got a federal contract associated with it. Now, keep in mind, this was 20 something years ago, and I don't remember what the exact details was, but he knew that I was a federal contractor. And it wasn't SAM.gov back then, it was CCR and some other, at some point, it changed a couple of times over the years as to who you were getting registered with. But he's asking me, he says, they've got this deal. They're going to give me $8,000. All I have to have is this code. I'm sure they still called it a cage code back then, but he needed the code and needed help getting set up. So I just took the time, helped him get it, and he got his check. But he had a deal that the work was done. He just couldn't get paid, and so he had a contract in some way or another, but he couldn't get paid until he had his code.
Right,
And
until you could get registered.
yeah. So the idea that there's a time frame associated with that is just patently absurd. It's not true.
Yeah, I don't even think that could be legal. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Another question that I have. Okay, so I read a bunch of contracts, and it's funny you mentioned a roll-up door because I literally just looked at a contract today at a roll-up door installation.
Okay.
Um, and it says, it says something along the lines of the contractor must provide labor, equipment, supervision, etc. As a general contractor, it's not talking about me and my company. I could sub that
No,
work out,
you're
right?
providing. Yeah, the federal
Right.
government understands that you're the guy who owns the company, operates the company. You're not the guy with the hammer in his hand.
Right. Okay. That's perfect. So just from starting out, obviously, what's your advice on getting awarded jobs in other states? But I don't have the funds to fly over there back and forth if I'm just starting out.
You don't necessarily have to do that. Okay. You may be put into a situation. I mean, I just ran into these two new guys in my program 3 or 4 days ago. They called me up about this opportunity, and it was an opportunity to make $60,000.
Right.
But they were a little confused about something. I don't want to give it away because this is something that is ongoing. But I said, get on an airplane, get down there and make the thing happen for the 60 grand.
Oh yeah, if it was 60,000, I'm getting on that plane.
Yeah. Now they called me back. I can't remember if it was yesterday or today, but no, I don't know. Anyway, they called me back and they had found a different option, and it was just going to make them a cool 20,000 as a flip. And so, okay, do the deal for 20,000 as a flip. Don't go down there and try to make the extra 40, whatever. That's a business decision.
Right.
That's not how do I do federal contracts question. And so, it's like I talk about in the workshop with Chris McMahon. The guy said, "Oh my God, don't tell anybody." But I went out there and I ran the bulldozer or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, yeah, the backhoe, and then he,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, the piping job or something he
right,
wanted to
right,
do.
right, and
I
he
talked.
backfilled it himself.
I talked to him 6 months or a year ago. He called me out of the blue, and he had forgotten completely about that job. Like,
Well, he made a lot more money doing it the way he did.
in fact, he thought about in the conversation, he was referring to this other job. And as he's saying it to me, I'm going, No, that's not the job, dude. I remember this conversation distinctly.
All
And
right.
he's sitting there, him hawing, thinking, no, he's thinking I'm wrong. And I'm like, dude, let me describe it to you again. And he goes, oh, I remember that job. Son of a bitch, all these years later, you forgot about it.
Yeah, I think it was the example was he took a little bit more time, but he made more money out of it.
A lot more money. I think he made
Yeah.
75,000 on that thing by the
Yeah.
time it was all said and done.
And then, okay, so my next question is, what's your advice on the bidding the size of jobs as a startup company?
Start under 150,000.
Okay.
And that's my recommendation to everybody. Just start
Okay.
with these are starter jobs, Go out
Right.
there and do X, go out there and do Y. Because everything that you learn on the first two, three, four, five jobs is going to apply to bigger ones the further you go. Just like today, if somebody tried to call you up and say, I'll give you $50 to come over to my house and replace an electrical outlet, I don't know. Is your time worth more or less than that?
Not more than that. Not for
Okay.
not for yeah.
Yeah, but if somebody said come over and rewire X amount of deals and we're going to give you X, in other words, you're not interested in the small little one-off things anymore. That
Right.
doesn't interest you.
Yeah. Okay. All right, that makes sense. Under 150 is perfect. Okay, and then I also looked something up today, talking it over with David. We were on lunch, just brainstorming or whatever. It
Mhm.
turns out, I mean, I looked this up. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It turns out that I qualify for 8A because
Great,
I am
great.
Hawaiian, and
Put
Hawaiian's a minority,
put
Pacific
that in
Islander.
your back pocket.
Okay.
Okay, don't even attempt to do anything about it. Go get a couple, three federal contracts. Okay, and then let's talk about it.
Okay.
Uh, People get so excited about 8A. And it's not that it's a bad idea. It's a great idea, but it's time limited. It's 8 or 9 years or whatever that the system is. But after year 4 or 5 or some amount of time into it, they start graduating you out of the program. Like they say, for year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100% of your work can be 8A set aside. And that's great. But then years 5 or year 6, whatever it is, now only 80% of your work can be this, and 20% has to be full and open competition. They graduate you out. If you don't hit the ground completely running on that thing, and it happens all the time. Gosh, these two black women, the most adorable, wonderful people I've ever met. I met them in an elevator in California or something. And they were like, what do you do? And talk and talk and talk, tell them what I do, just basic elevator pitch stuff. And they go, we're federal contractors. I go, well, we should know each other. I find out that 4 years ago, they signed up for the 8A program, both of them each with their own separate companies, and never did anything with it. Like they could have put one person through the program for 8 or 9 years, then put the other person and gotten, a career out of being in the 8A program,
Okay.
you know? But they just all they had was 1 year left, and we did what we could. But I mean, geez.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to anybody ever coming across this thing, my recommendation is always if you haven't started that process, don't get get familiar with how the system works. Get a few jobs under your belt. You know, understand what you're getting into, and then take full advantage of it. And then you'll start doing stuff like there's one guy in my program used the 8A program, did $150 million worth of federal contracts.
Ooh, it's a big number.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, yeah, I was looking at SAM.gov today, and one of the set asides was for 8A only. So I
yeah.
was looking, I was like, oh shit. I was like, I wonder if I could do it.
Well, let me tell you the magic of the 8A program because I witnessed it. Keep in mind, you're talking to a white guy in Austin. I say that in the workshop, right? We're two
Yeah,
white
yeah.
boys competing in full and open competition. I'm
Right.
not, my ass isn't chapped about it. It's just the facts. So
No, that
I
gave me a good laugh. You said you said I'll discriminate against you all day.
yeah, yeah. If it's
Yeah.
going to help you make money, because I
Yeah.
don't give a shit about any of that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
And so anyway, I didn't really understand how powerful that program is until this other client of mine, Marcus, he came down to Austin, wanted to stop by and talk. So we're sitting there talking in my office, and he gets a phone call from a contracting officer, and all I'm hearing is his side of the conversation. Yep, yeah, okay, we'll take the deal. Yeah, okay, good, that's great, bye bye. He goes, she just called me and offered me $150,000 contract, and I took it.
Wow.
Maybe it was a bigger contract and it had 150 grand profit in it. Whatever. The number 150 sticks in my head for one reason or another. But the fact of the matter is, that wasn't a job that came out on the street that I could bid. That was
Right.
just offered directly to him.
Just because he's 8A.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you mentioned that in the workshop as well. Like literally
Well,
the possibility.
if you had been in my business, in my shoes, my whole life, and then you saw that happen, you're like, you know, I mean, for heaven's sake, that's reverse discrimination
Yeah.
in a way, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Oh yeah, so I'll definitely take that advice. Where do we go from here?
Well, from here, what do you want to do? Like, how do you envision the future being?
We talked a little bit about my goals. I have 2 years. I have 2 years until my other half. Actually, it's funny. She gets out of the military, and I would like to make her stay at home when she gets out. And within these 2 years, I want to be able to be confident in this business, and be able to provide a living for my family as my family's growing as well. And I'm trying to get started as soon as possible.
How are your financials for bonding?
I don't even have a company yet. I still have to make a company.
Okay. Well, look, don't tell me the exact number because I don't really care, but I need to guide you which direction you can go based on your credit score. Is it above or below 680?
It's above 700.
Okay, then you shouldn't have a problem getting a bonding line, and you're going to be in really good shape moving forward into
Mhm,
this business.
mhm.
So the first step is, have you been introduced to my SAM robot yet?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Possibly, I got an email saying, hey, I'm Trip. I'm an AI.
okay, that's Trip.
Okay.
He's my project manager. I have a few key members on my team. I've got Trip, he's the project manager. I've got Rudy, he's the estimator. I've got Sam, the SAM registration guy. And Johnny handles all the bid tracker stuff. And they're all
They're all
AIs.
AI?
Yes.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's insane. Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing what I've put together. So anyway, what I'll do is, and in fact, I have a video editor guy, and so he's going to be reading the transcript of this video as he's editing it. And so all I have to say is, "Hey, video guy, what I want you to do is go SSH into SAM agent on the SAM AWS server, and I want you to have him send Keone an email introducing himself, and and let's see, what did I want to do there? Oh, you can get Keone's email address by going into my Gmail API. Just look for Keone and you'll get his email address, and then just have Sam send Keone an email introducing himself. And that's going to happen.
What? You have all these little robots working for you?
I do. I've got about 40 of them.
That's insane.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty
That's
amazing.
scary to think about now. I'm not. That's insane. Okay. What about pricing?
So I'm not entirely sure how to price all this. So it depends on if you want to do the old way or the new way. I think is pretty much what I've settled on. So the
Okay.
old way is you have bid tracker. We talk about bid tracker in the workshop. And you can go in there and do that little patented sync technology that I have, and you can go out there, start going after federal contracts on your own.
Mhm.
You'll always have access to me. That's always been part of the membership program. I don't want to say always at this point because Tripp has gotten so good at replicating me. He's actually better than me, because Tripp has been designed. I want you to imagine the sun. It shines light on half the earth at a
Hmm.
time. And but you can change the perspective of the light by using a magnifying glass, a lens. Okay? Right?
Right.
Okay. When you ask ChatGPT a question, it goes out there and it uses the world's knowledge to give you an answer.
Right.
Ours does that too, but a little bit different. What Tripp does is he takes your question, he gets the answer, basically the same answer that ChatGPT would give you. But then he runs that answer through 60,000 documents of my database of contracts that we've done. Okay? All the subcontract agreements, all the letters to the government, all the letters from the government, all the daily reports, all the certified payroll, everything that you can imagine. He runs that through looking for a way that we've solved this. Then he takes that answer and runs it through the workshop because, as you figured out in the workshop, we handle things differently than anybody else in the world handles things.
Right.
Then what it does is it takes the answer, now that it's been run through that, and then it scores it against what you asked. 0 to 100%. How did I do? If it's anything less than 90, it runs that whole process again until it's got you a damn near 100%, absolutely the best answer you could ever get for that question. Not even I can think that fast. And then
Okay.
if it doesn't score over a 90 after 4 tries, it pings me and says, "Let's talk about this."
Wow. I mean, this is out of curiosity. How long did it take you to develop these?
Well over 100. Well, I'm probably right at $150,000 at this point. And well over 1,000 hours. I'm not sure where over 1,000. It's significant. If I had to guess, 1,200, 1,300 hours, something like that.
So these guys are gonna allow you to retire some at some time, huh?
I'm already retired, but that's not the point.
Okay.
Look, there's a reason you can get a hold of me on a Monday night at 9 o'clock at night. Okay.
Right.
It, you should, if you've interpreted anything from your phone call with me, what you heard about me, what you saw in the video, the workshop, okay, I'm pretty much a one trick pony. This is what I enjoy doing.
Yeah, it's your passion, right?
It's my passion. And then look, new tools come out. Okay. Imagine that you're a carpenter for all your life, 100 years ago. And then somebody, let's say you're 65, 70 years old, you're retired, you're on death's door, and somebody shows you a circular saw for the first time. Do you want to hold that thing in your hand?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at all I did over my career, and all of a sudden there's this AI shit. What the fuck is that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm uniquely positioned to leverage AI for the future of federal contracting. I'm
Yeah.
extremely unique. I've got the knowledge, I've got the time, I've got the money. Okay. So I've been sitting here. Seriously, here's the goal in my head. I want to create that anybody else, anybody can run $100 million a year federal government construction company from a cell phone.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the goal. I'm not going to stop until I have a reason to stop. And so far, I'm really having fun.
Yeah, I bet with all these new tools and stuff like that. So that would be the new way?
That would be the new way. Significantly more expensive. just to give you a rough idea, I am currently spending about $4,000 a day running this AI operation.
Whoa.
Somewhere between 4 and 5. I've had $5,000 days, but on average about $4,000 a day. All right. At some point, I'm going to start looking for some people to get a return on that. Yeah. So anyway, the idea is that anybody could. Here's where I'm going with this, and maybe this is what you and I end up doing. I don't know. Trip is so good. I mean, right now he is enterprise level AI, and he's expensive. I mean, of all my AI stuff, he costs probably about $800 a day to run. But are you familiar with the term subdomain?
Yes, but I don't know how it's used and what you're trying
Okay.
to talk about.
So you have a domain name, gcexperts.com as an example. Okay.
Right.
You can have a subdomain name, Keone.gcexperts.com. And
Yep.
that can be a completely different website.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I recently became aware, I had never thought of it before, that you can use subdomains in email addresses. So
Yeah.
admin at keone.gcexperts.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That can be an email address. Or
Right.
Keone at keone.gcexperts.com. Or trip at keone.gcexperts.com.
Right.
That would be your specific version of trip.
Mm.
Now, what can you do with that? Hey, Trip, send an email to 3 contractors in the area that might be interested in bidding this job for me.
Wow.
Oh, and I need to tell him to be expecting your call. So hold on just one second. Actually, I'll have him call you.
Yeah.
Hey, Trip, I'm going to have you make a phone call, a test phone call to Keone. I'm going to give you a cell phone number to call to him, and I want you to interact with him as if he's a client of GC Experts. Okay? He's a personal friend of mine, and you're going to make a phone call. Let me give you the cell phone number. Stand by.
Comes up as a spam risk, though.
Hey, Keone, this is Trip from GC Experts. Thanks for calling back. I missed you a few minutes ago. Just a heads up, this call is being recorded so Sean and I can review it. What can I help you with?
I don't know. I wasn't expecting it. This is awesome. Can I hang up?
No.
Of course.
Oh. I don't know what to ask him. I wasn't prepared.
No problem at all, Keone. If you've got any federal bids you're looking at, we can dive into those. Or if there's anything on your mind about bonding, past performance, or anything else, just let me know. No rush.
All right, thank you.
No, ask him questions.
Okay, I'm gonna ask him a question. I'll ask him a question. Will it be hard?
Ready? I'm here.
Will it be hard for me to win contracts without having any awards?
It can be a bit tougher at first, but definitely not impossible. The key is to focus on opportunities that value experience similar to yours, even if it's from the private sector. You can also partner with other contractors who have a track record to boost your credibility. And focusing on smaller, set aside contracts that match your status can be a good strategy to start building that past performance.
Um,
You've got a particular set aside status, like small business, or something more specific, that can give you an edge. Let me know if you want to explore any current opportunities that fit your profile, and we can see what's out there.
could you tell me about the schedule of values?
Schedule of values is basically a breakdown of the total contract amount into individual work items or tasks. It helps track progress and payments. Each portion of work is assigned a value, and as you complete those portions, you bill for them.
Oh, he ended it.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he hung up.
Well, like I said, he's a work in progress. But have you ever experienced anything like that before?
No, that's insane. That's insane. Thank you.
He can actually pull solicitations and read you the plans and specs.
Oh, like I tell him the solicitation number?
No, just say, give me 3 roofing jobs or 3, whatever it is that you do. Just, he can do that.
So he could find jobs for me?
Yes.
Holy
Not only that, he can fill the bid forms out for you and email them to you.
That's mild. That's a crazy amount of convenience. Well, that was insane.
So that's what I'm talking about, the future. Eventually, somebody's going to have to give me my $150,000 back or whatever it ends up being, probably $250,000 by the time,
Yeah,
you know.
you're at this pace, you're gonna get a lot more back than that.
I would expect so because nobody in the world can do what I just did. Like they can understand the technology, okay, but they don't have my experience. They can have my experience, but they wouldn't understand the technology to make that phone call happen that just happened.
Right. Yeah, that was insane. It blew me off guard. I didn't even have questions to ask him.
Yeah, see, most people they get a phone call from AI and we're conditioned because it's a voice message, it's not interactive.
Right.
It's a big difference.
But the tone, how do I describe this? Everything about the conversation seemed natural coming from an AI though. Like
Yeah.
it's not intimidating. It doesn't sound very robotic. It's like he's designed to make you feel comfortable with asking the question. And he just did it just now. He gave me time. I just went into my notes and asked some questions that I didn't even know I had. So, yeah, that was insane.
Now, what you don't know is that the moment that that phone call dropped off, or I don't know what happened from a technology standpoint, okay, but I have another AI that got that phone call, reviewed the phone call, figured out what happened, and is fixing it right now. And probably by the time that, like right now in real time, it's probably already fixed.
Yeah, he's calling back. You're good. Yeah, he's calling back actually.
Answer.
They're downstairs cooking. She needs her phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she's making orders and whatnot. But that was insane. But I will tell you, I cannot afford that at the moment. That's something that I can't afford right now.
Well, then let's get you there. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll work something out offline and we'll come up with something. But in the meantime, what you definitely need to do is when you get that email from Sam, figure out how to get yourself SAM registered because you cannot be awarded a federal contract until you're SAM registered. And
So,
Sam will work with you and get you SAM registered.
oh, so you don't do the 750 for your wife to do it anymore?
There's no reason to. Sam is better at it than anybody.
Huh. Okay. Um, gosh. I have I don't know. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna pay you back somehow, some way. This is insane. Yeah. So the first thing, obviously, I have to do is set up my business and all that. And then when I do set that up, I can do it probably this weekend.
When
David.
you get the email from Sam, just tell him, here's who I am, here's where I'm at. He'll ask you a bunch of questions and then he'll tell you what to go do.
Yeah. Yeah, David offered to help me. He lives in the sector of Olympia with all of the offices and everything that I have to go do. But yeah, I'll definitely interact with Sam.
Okay.
But No,
In
I
fact, he
really.
started making jokes on his own. He's like, yeah, I know it's ironic or funny or something that my name is Sam and I help you get Sam registered. He did that all on his own.
So he's getting smarter.
I don't know. I don't know where they come up with this shit sometimes, but yeah.
That's insane. But yeah, given everything that you have just taught me going through the workshop, I just really want to extend a thank you for the opportunity. I really see a future doing this, and I don't want to break my back any more than it is getting there already. And I'm very, very committed. So I really just want to extend an appreciation and a thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
All
Yeah,
right.
I can't wait till you get formally introduced to TRIP. TRIP will help anybody find, bid, negotiate, and perform federal contracts. I mean, that's it. He's got a real simple mission.
Okay. So with that being said, yeah, when Sam gives me that email, I will interact with him.